bollocks. I'm carrying on. We're doing. This is a podcast. We're talking about Star Trek. We don't give a shit about it, but you'll enjoy listening to us not give a shit.
Maybe, but if
copilotspodcast.co.uk, yada yada yada.
Yeah, social media and that we're there.
Real co-pilots, co-pilots, re-co-pilots, real co-pilots. That's what we're under, isn't it?
Yeah,
something like that.
Generally, Co-Pilots Podcast. If you search for it, we're there. The audio's available most places. Re-releasing co-directors because fuck it, why not? Yeah, this is the lowest effort intro I think we've had.
Come on, we've done less than this before.
Well, yeah, when we didn't record intros.
That's very, very true. Yeah, this is what, attempt number 5 or 6 of recording this, I think.
Yeah, which is funny because in the actual, I mean, I'm sure at some point in the future, shortly, we will be discussing your mum's podcast and her audio sync issues that we just experienced.
That's not an insult, irony. Strangely enough. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. But yeah, I'm actually, as we're doing this, I'm watching another roller coaster video. It's like the biggest roller coaster drop in the world, and
alright, cool. Big. I'll just play the music and we'll stop this nonsense.
Yeah. Hit the theme tune. So even when we can see each other, we can't get that bit right.
Yeah, but you sent me that video of your mum and her podcast doing the club. And
oh my god, so that was ridiculous, right? So what it was, okay, so we've only ever done a podcast that's two inputs to synchronise and put together, right? So my mum had done this podcast with her friends, and they are, to be kind, less than tech savvy. So they,
I'm glad
I told them a few things. I was like,
I don't know where I thought it was going, but I thought it was going to be way worse than that.
So I said, when you start recording, just get everybody to go 3, 2, 1. Look, we didn't even try, and we got that in sync, right? So there's these 3 women, and Mum one of them just takes control and goes, right, here we go, we're going to go, and everybody ready, 3, 2, 1, clap. And I was sat there listening to it, like, well, that's it. And so then they had the conversation. Right, do we go on 1? So do we go 3, 2, 1, clap? I was like, let's do that. Okay, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Oh, for fuck!
It was honestly, a very entertaining video to watch.
It was genuinely. It was 5 minutes of them laughing and all trying to clap at the same time. So that was fun. And then I had to edit 3 inputs. And here's the thing. Here's something else that was a bit of an issue. They'd all started recording. Not one of them used headphones.
Oh God.
So there was so much feedback looping. So in the end, of the 3 inputs I had to play with, I could only use 1. So then the microphone sounded awful on 2 of them and decent on 1 of them.
Yeah, that's like the edge number. Or my old set of headphones used to leak noise. So when I was editing like early versions of this, there are points where you can hear you talking and me listening.
Just put my headphones on my mic so that will pick up.
I know, I saw you do it and stop talking.
Should we go for a Star Trek?
Do we have to?
Cool, you look very entertained by this. So, I mean, full disclosure, this is the 2nd week in a row we've tried to record this one, and we still haven't watched the right episodes. So, we're gonna do like an overview of, the common parts of the original series. But we have both watched the correct episode of Next Generation, haven't we?
Yeah, because it made it a lot easier by being in the right order.
Yeah, that's the trouble when there's old shows like this. There's like loads of different versions. So the one that I watched was it featured matey boy. I don't know his name actually. I haven't even got that information up. But it's Captain Pike on an adventure rather than Kirk.
Yeah.
Who's your guy? Who's the one that you watched, right?
Yeah, I watched Kirk's first episode, which it's weird because it's the first episode that aired, but they recorded the Pike one first, and then I think they use it as like a flashback at some point. Maybe not. It might not even be in season 1. It might be in season 2.
I think it was in.
What happened to that
1.
guy?
Yeah. So if we let's start with the original series then.
Yeah, the one that we got wrong.
So I watched The Cage, which was the first one that they shot, as you so rightly put it. And I think it was this one. I can't remember. I'm not sure which one it was, but it starts with Pike. I think it's Pike, and he goes to the doctor on his ship, and he's like, "Oh, I'm feeling a bit shit," and blah, blah, blah. And the doctor's like, "Oh, it's okay. Here, have a martini." Fuck knows how. Anyway, so then he goes back to the bridge, martini. And he's it's got a little asteroid in it.
Well, it's not shaken nor stirred because there's no gravity in space.
But then, they're just like, right, what should we do then? Okay, well, we've had this thing from this planet. Should we go and have a look at it? And Pike's there like, yeah, fine. And he's like, oh, I just really wish I just want to go home. Just fancy a bit of time off, to be honest. And then his first officer, who's a woman, is like, oh, that's all right. You know, you're doing a decent enough job. It's all fine. And he just looks at her, and he's literally just like, oh, plus I have to contend with a woman on my ship. I was like, oh man, we're in the 60s. But I was like, Jesus fucking Christ, you can't do that. But she doesn't say anything. She's just like, yeah, now I suppose that is a tricky thing for you to have to deal with.
Yeah.
I mean, Spock's in this though.
Yeah, I think Pike's the only character that changes. I think. I'm not sure.
Which confused me because he's in the recent films, isn't he? So I thought he was just in it all the way through.
No, I think. So what I understand
is he only in this one?
Is that they basically couldn't get him to come back and do the rest of it, so they just went, fuck it. Here's a new guy.
Okay.
But yeah.
Oh, okay. He is in it quite a bit then. I'm just looking at him. His character thing. I don't understand a lot of these words, but yeah, I think it's safe to say Star Trek's not quite your thing, is it?
No, and that's the thing. I don't get why, because it should tick boxes of just like space stuff, sci-fi stuff, lots of episodes to binge watch.
This is the thing, is I kind of feel like if you'd watched the one I'd watched, I think you might like it a bit more, because it goes into, like, you got to think of it like in the 60s, right? It does an episode where it's going back through Pike's psyche and reformatting his memories and playing it out to him. So the idea is there's this race of people, of these aliens called Talosians, because they live on this place called Talos, and they're keeping him to sort of experiment with him, but they don't want to be complete bastards about it. So they're in captivity, they let their subjects sort of live wherever it is they can remember in their head. So there's a point where like he realises he's on the farm where he grew up and where he used to ride his horse and stuff. And he's
that
like, yeah,
sounds
this is all still a
way
trick.
better than the dross that I watched.
Yeah, it's like, it's proper, like, you know, it was almost, I was thinking, well, this is like Inception, like, he's living in his own mind while stuff's going on around him and bits and pieces. It was genuinely, I was watching it, I was like, this is alright, you know, it's not bad. I mean,
yeah, because the episode I watched is just a lady in space who they all think is a person, but is just a salt-sucking monster. and
You
It's-
can't. You can't.
and it's
You can't expect me not to laugh at a salt sucking monster.
and that's I was watching it and I was like, this is like a bad episode of Doctor Who, and it's bad because there's no
Yeah.
Doctor. But yeah, it was just. Yeah, I don't feel like it hasn't aged particularly well, which didn't help. But I can forgive that if it's good. But I just didn't think it was. That's
Here's a thing to commend Star Trek for. It featured the first interracial kiss on TV.
true. Well done them.
Having said that,
However,
I'm
it
just
didn't
gonna
treat other female characters particularly well.
No. So I've just found the quote, right? So I've misremembered it. Okay, so it's worse. So he's saying this to one woman about another woman, right?
Right.
So he says, "It's just that I can't get used to having a woman on the bridge." So, and then she looks at him like, "Fucking what?" And he looks at her and goes, "No offence, Lieutenant, you're different, of course." That's not better.
Yeah, and it's just I don't know, but that's just us applying modern sensibilities to an old show. I'm not 100% sure it was still okay back then, but no one kicked up a stink about it until the black lady kissed the white man, and then they were angry.
Mm-hmm. It's back then when racism wasn't bad, as David Brent puts it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
this-
not planning on watching much
is the
more of
thi-
the original series. That's the thing.
No, I don't think I will either. It's just a shame that that's the one that you watched, the one that you didn't like. Because I actually genuinely think you might quite like this one.
I think there's a definite like element of, so all the people who like love Star Trek must have either been alive when it came out and watched it, or watched it when they were young enough
Or
to
when they were
have
kids.
nostalgia about it. In the same way that I
Or
fucking
have-
love Star Wars because it's good,
Uh,
and also I watched it when I was a kid. Mostly, it's good.
or, people love it enough that they, have a sibling who's named after a character from Star Trek. So, hey Zara! Did you know that? His sister is named after a Star Trek character.
No, because I wouldn't recognise a Star Trek character unless it's
C-3PO.
unless it's Kirk or Picard. I don't recognise the names.
Yeah, so like I didn't mind it. I'm a little bit annoyed that I didn't see the original stuff because with Kirk and Spock and the rest of the crew, I don't think any of the other crew are the same, apart from Spock. But something fucking weird has happened to Spock's eyebrows at that point. Like they're like proper off
Yeah.
his head, like off his forehead.
Oh
big.
wow!
So,
Yeah, but I
But
think
yeah,
I enjoy
like,
this in the
I
same
re- I
way that
did-
I enjoy the Russian Lord of the Rings. In that it's cool that it exists, I just don't want to watch it.
That's low. I really like the production values in it. Like I like that now it looks a bit crap. In the same way that like Doctor Who, they got flimsy sets and stuff, but
Yeah,
I
back
do
when they were making it in
quite-
2009. Because
It
it's
came back in 2005. Don't be cruel.
oh no, but that's the thing. Like it didn't. Their set building and effects didn't get. Not that they're good now, but they didn't get much better until like Matt Smith, maybe.
Yeah.
And even then, there's a few
But-
Matt Smith episodes that are just like, oh, it looks like you could blow that and the TARDIS would fall all over.
The one with James Corden. Like, leave that. And all the ones with Noel Clark now. Probably just ignore him.
Yeah, oh, that writes off like 2 seasons, 3 seasons, 4,
Yeah.
3. It writes off enough that it's a
Likes-
bit of a pain in the ass.
Isn't his character didn't he show up as some sort of terrorist or something at one point? No, with the Dalek invasion or something.
Freedom Fighter, I think they call it, depending on which side you're
Oh,
on.
sorry. Well, I mean, he would. So.
Yeah. It actually makes me sad that it's really taken like the Kidulthood series. So I like those films.
Yeah, like that's the thing, is that he was genuinely like. I think he was well, not anymore, but I did hold him in quite high regard because I was like, oh, fair play, like, you know, you've come up and, you know, generated all these opportunities for other people and told stories we wouldn't necessarily have heard if it weren't for you,
And he put Stormzy in a film.
now you've gone and fingered a load of people.
Yeah.
So I think, should we move on to the next generation?
Yeah. Sorry, I'm just trying to get hair out of my mouth.
Is it a
Oh,
pube?
no, it's mustache hair.
Oh, it's pube.
Face pure.
We'll leave all this in. This.
Oh, I don't edit the middle. I edit the ends.
Alright, yeah, so next generation. Something I like about Next Generation. Gordy LaChance from Stand By Me is in it.
I like
Will Wheaton.
that this has a lot of Patrick Stewart walking around rather than wheeling himself around on a hover chair. That made me
I'll tell you
happy.
what, he's very watchable, isn't he? When he's all walking around and being like, rah, rah, rah. I
Do you know,
did quite enjoy that.
I don't think it matters who he plays. He's always my favourite character on the screen. It's tough with him and Hugh Jackman though. That's a tough. Oh, and when Ian McKellen's in it. Oh, that's.
Have you seen?
It's a tough
have you
watch,
seen-
but it's an easy wank.
Have you seen Green Room?
No, maybe, possibly.
Yeah, that'll make you think twice about him. He plays a very, very convincing neo-Nazi villain, and it's fucking great. That's actually when I come up for the first time we see each other in fucking nearly a year. We'll have to do that. We'll do the Get Out and Us double bill, and then we'll do Blue Ruin Green Room
Ooh, shall we
double
get
bill.
right a portable DVD player and go watch it in a restaurant called the Green Room?
Yeah, sure. Do they have a cocktail that's called a Blue Ruin?
No, it's also
Because
not in London.
Us two are going to get out, go to a restaurant called Green Room. Anyway, yeah, this isn't answering any questions about Star Trek, is it?
I think it's better.
It is better. I like the opening, but I sort of lost it towards the middle and the end. But I like the opening of like they're captured by a being, and then they're like, right, you're on trial, and they have to answer this accusation that like humans are still a savage race, and they have to demonstrate that they're not. I was like, it's a really good.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's a really cool idea, but they
Sort of loses it.
Well, that's the thing. They can't disprove it because the first thing they did was turn their shields on and were like, right, get ready with those torpedoes.
I was like, oh, okay.
Because
Well,
their first
cool,
instinct
isn't it?
is to fight. And it's like, well, I mean, the Q guy's kind of right. Maybe you should all be murdered. Short season, hour and a half, all in.
There is. I'm just on the wiki here. There is so much written about this one episode. People love this, don't they?
Yeah, they do. I've been told that the first episode of every season of Star Trek is not good, and that you generally have to give it like 2 other episodes. I have also been told like it's seasons that you have to give it. And I'm like, I'm not doing that.
Oh, no. If you can't get me in sort of 2 episodes,
Yeah.
maybe 3.
So to put it in context,
then
how many seconds into Gilmore Girls were you when you fell in love with it? Because I don't think I even got to the theme song. Is that like
No,
the
it was
opening
less
scene
than
in
a minute.
Luke's? And I was just like, yes, this is my thing.
But more than that, I remember actually, like watching it, my first thought was not like how much I loved it. I was like, Lisa's gonna love this. And then we watched it because we watched like a bunch of them, and then the next day we just sat and watched them again so she could catch up.
And then I think at some point I came down to you, and then we had it on in the background while we were playing a board game or something, and then all of us just stopped paying attention to the board game and just turned around and went. I'm like, I've seen this like 5 or 6 times at this point already.
But yeah, that's not Star Trek.
No, it's not. But it's if a show is not good to start with, well, if it's earlier episodes are weak, it doesn't deserve to be watched by me. Which I mean is obviously what every show's aiming for, to be watched by specifically me. But yeah, it's the fact that I didn't like either of these is what makes me think it's not Star Trek. Just might not be for me.
Yeah, I mean that's fair enough. I'm quite intrigued by what this Q thing is. I think he's quite interesting. And then you're introduced to Data, who's kind of like the Spock of this crew, seems, and he's like, oh, you saw I think it's Riker who says to him, oh, you remind me of a Vulcan. He goes, yeah, I'm not a Vulcan, I'm an android.
Same difference.
He doesn't have pointed ears, does he? No. But yeah, I quite like the ending as well, with the big jellyfish thing. I was like, the fuck is that? But yeah, I think it is safe to say that Star Trek isn't necessarily for us. But having said that, you did watch Star Trek Discovery, and you were like, yeah, this is rubbish. And then you went and watched the next episode, and you're like, this is awesome.
Yeah. See, the difference there is that I paid for the first episode of both of these and now more jaded than I should be, because I watched them both on Prime rather than Netflix. I'm just annoyed that I paid for them.
You really didn't like this, did you?
Well, I think it's not that I didn't like it, it's that I don't know, because I understand why people like it, and I don't. It's not shit. It's just not for me, which I think is
fair enough.
It's not in the way that, like, because the thing I totally get. I get why people like this. Still don't fully understand why people are so invested in Firefly, but
yeah, I think it's to do with, you know, when you watch them. Like you say, if you watch it from a young age or whatever.
yeah.
I might give the films a go, to be fair. Yeah, I might watch the movies, because I don't think you need to have seen the show to understand.
That's the thing.
Roughly what's going on.
Honestly, you could probably jump from episode to episode in this, and you probably wouldn't notice. Apart from like Will Wheaton growing up, you might notice that. But
yeah, that's true. But that's something I'm attempting to stop him doing by watching Stand By Me over and over and over and over and over again.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's weird because I don't really know Will Wheaton as an actor. I know him as that guy who made tabletop games really expensive. That's my Will Wheaton.
I don't think that's entirely his fault.
No, but it wasn't his fault, but it was an effect that him doing that show had. Because
yeah, no, you're right. It is his fault.
Because suddenly people will be going like, "Oh, that game looks cool. I'm gonna go buy that," and then suddenly comic book shops are like, "So what games Will Wheaton just talked about? Oh, we'll just double the price of that." But I'm just saying, they're 26 episode seasons. I'm not watching Star Trek.
That's a lot, isn't it? That is a lot, to be fair.
Yeah. And also, I know that we're watching more of it later in the year. I might like Voyager or Deep Space Nine, but
Wait, what? We're doing more Star Trek?
yeah,
Oh shit! I didn't see that.
yeah. Don't worry.
Where's
There's
the-
always
is the-
that's the thing. There's always more Star Trek. Apart from
Is the
oh, no,
Picard
that's
show out yet?
yeah.
Is that the only one we've not done then? Because if we've done Discovery, the original series, Next Generation, Deep Space Nine.
It will
Are there
be the
any
only
others?
one that we haven't done, I think.
Well, I think it'd be a shame to leave it out.
Yeah, but we've run out of Star Trek things to pair it with, and I don't think it's fair for me to be comparing it to anything else. Because that really just gives me a chance to shit on it. And I don't want to do that, because I get it, that it's... Well, I think, was it one of the first big sci-fi shows?
Well, Star Trek.
Yeah.
I think so. But well, you had like the Twilight Zone before that, and
Twilight Zone was
Desperate
only
Trying to think of
60s,
another
wasn't it?
sci-fi show. Twilight Zone? No, that was 50s. I think.
Oh.
I think. I'm pretty sure it. Let me just double check. 1959 TV series that just about getting in there. I love the Twilight Zone. It's fucking great. Which leads me on to my next question: are you up to date with Inside Number 9 now?
Not yet, but I finished Line of Duty, after we watched that in, season 3?
Yep. I finished that today as well, so that's good.
Yeah. I really enjoyed your I can't have anything text when I overtook you.
But yeah, okay. Star Trek, not for you. Star Trek, a little bit for me. Probably not going to watch anymore.
Little bit for you, but
it
not
was
enough.
fine.
But maybe in
Yeah,
5 or 6 years, you'll watch it like you did with Line of Duty.
maybe. I can't really see that happening, but never mind.
What's next
but
on your list?
week,
Is it,
however, we are.
Breaking Bad? Is
It's
that...
Peep Show.
Right, is that the next thing you're going to watch that we've done on the podcast?
I've seen all of that. Thank you. We watched the
Ooh.
finale together, actually.
What about Black Sails? We fucking loved that.
I didn't fucking buy the Blu-ray set.
I did.
And haven't watched it.
I did. Nearly 5 years ago.
Penny Dreadful. That's one that I wished was better. I said the other day, I was like, I wish that show was better so I could carry on watching that.
Was it season 1 that we did Channel Zero? No. I keep meaning I want to go back and watch Channel Zero so bad. But I just... At this point, it's funnier that I haven't.
I did go back and watch it, but I didn't finish the series and I can't remember what happened.
So, next week. In 2 weeks.
Next week. I am looking forward to it because Peep Show, I have watched... I don't know how many times I've watched it all the way through, but it's close to the number of times that I've watched Gavin and Stacey all the way through, and that is a lot.
Yeah.
Mitchell and Weblook, which I used to love.
So that's the thing, yeah. I've seen a lot. I've seen all of Peep Show. I've seen a lot of Mitchell and Weblook. But, I thought it would just be nice.
Yeah, break up the Star Trek.
I got the Star Trek and the... What's after that? Oh,
Stephen King.
Stephen King. There's a lot of good stuff. I forgot we had a UK versus US this year.
Where are
Only
we
the
for that
one.
one?
Cracker.
Oh, that was earlier. Oh, Cracker, yeah, that's the Robbie Coltrane one, wasn't it?
And whoever they cast to do the American Robbie Coltrane.
Oh, that's an excellent question. I'd have said John Candy, but I think he's a bit dead. Maybe John Goodman? But either way.
I don't. Oh, there's only 6 episodes. Oh, I've got a feeling that... Okay, so
That
special
didn't
guest
go too
appearances. Robbie Coltrane.
Okay then, fair enough.
Oh no, 16 episodes. Oh wait, no. Oh no, they've all come out, but all of the directed by and written by is all TBA, so I don't know.
Oh shit. That's exciting. Whoops. I might have fucked the spreadsheet. Now it says crack a banana.
How have you done that?
Crack a banana, cucumber cracker. I don't know. I'm not good.
I fixed it.
Anyway. Say goodbye.
Yeah. No. You can't make me. I won't leave. I'll never leave. I'll tell the people that we are re-releasing all the co-directors somewhere. By somewhere, I mean it's in the same stream. And they'll all go out. And it's good. So now there's more of us on a week that Co-Pilots comes out. And in the off weeks, there's still us talking. Although you're not recording anymore. And I can see that because you look happy. But this has been a nice little monologue for me at the end. And I can call you a cunt and you can't retort. You can't disagree. Little bitch.